Hello, this is Susan Kirtley. I'd like to say thank you to the wonderful folks at ICAF for the opportunity to participate this year, and I especially want to thank my collaborators Samantha Langsdale and Carolyn Coca. It's great to collaborate with two scholars I really admire. This project is a new one, and you'll see that I'm exploring new ideas, and I look forward to your feedback and talking more about this concept later. Girl in the Middle, Cyborgs, Selfhood, and the Magnificent Ms. Marvel. In the most recent issues of the Magnificent Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan finds herself split in two, a human girl and a cyborg. And in this liminal space, Ms. Marvel enacts a vision of girlhood in conflict, poised in a liminal space between girl and woman, violence and mercy, and emotion and logic. I'd like to spend my brief time with everyone to examine these ideas in more depth. However, before doing a deep dive into these recent issues and exploring this threshold moment, it helps to do a brief recap of Ms. Marvel's origin story, her publication origin, and her superhero origin. In February 2014, Marvel Comics introduced a new superhero, 16-year-old Kamala Khan. She's the daughter of immigrants from Pakistan, and she was created by writer G. Willow Wilson and Marvel editors Sana Amanat and Stephen Wacker, and was brought to life with help from artist Adrian Alfana and colorist Ian Herring. In the initial issues, Kamala Khan's powers, which spring from her status as an Inhuman of Kree origins, are revealed when she is exposed to Terrigen Mist and, as a polymorph, immediately transforms into her idol, Carol Danvers, from whom she borrows a moniker, even after determining she can only access her full potential when in her form. In December 2018, Wilson left the series and the title changed to The Magnificent Ms. Marvel, with Saladin Ahmed taking over writing duties and Minkyu Ju taking over art, with Ian Herring remaining as colorist, beginning with issue number 1 in March 2019. Now, I am a fan of the original series, and was therefore curious to see how Ms. Marvel's journey would continue. In reading the new series, I was struck by the fact that Ms. Marvel was facing darker villains and more harrowing crises, even as she struggled with numerous thresholds. As I mentioned, girl and woman, violence, mercy, emotion, and logic. And these conflicts are particularly evident in her battle with the cyborg Storm Ranger, so I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about that. But first, as a girl in popular culture, Kamala Khan fights not only supervillains, but long-entrenched stereotypes where girls are historically relegated to roles as sidekicks or love interests. Why is this so important? Sherry Innes contends that girls' culture has played and continues to play a ritual role in shaping our culture's girls into women. Furthermore, Barbara White contemplates that most writers, quote, conceive of womanhood in the overwhelmingly negative way as their predecessors, and wonders, quote, will they continue to portray growing up female as a loss, as the entering of a tightly enclosed space that entails the death of the self, end quote? What will the future of Ms. Marvel hold as she grows older? Will she, too, find womanhood a loss of self? Throughout the earlier series, Ms. Marvel struggled with growing pains and, given her superhero powers, did so in a pretty spectacular way. In navigating the transition to adult, Kamala Khan remained largely in the realm of girlhood, playing video games, writing fan fiction, and here she is playing with Lockjaw. But she did so while taking on more mature duties by saving lives and battling villains. However, the new series seems to me to be less playful, pointing toward a new direction and new maturity for the hero. In fact, the Magnificent Ms. Marvel quickly addressed a significant coming-of-age moment in issue number 9, as Khan finally kissed her best friend Bruno before running off to battle the villain Mr. Hyde, even as Dr. Strange tried to save her father's life. In this particular watershed moment, Khan marks another step away from girlhood and into adulthood. She's chosen to embrace her longtime best friend Bruno as something more, marking a move into adulthood and breaking with her family's expectations. Kamala Khan is making choices that establish her independence as an adult and a woman. In this moment of crisis, Ms. Marvel must also make a difficult ethical decision. In issue number 10, she chooses to follow her own moral compass, leaving Bruno's embrace and her father's bedside to fight and defeat Mr. Hyde, which she does soundly. However, although Ms. Marvel has in the past indicated disdain for undue punishment, regretting even hurting an alligator, let alone a human, in this battle with Mr. Hyde, she seems unable to stop punching him. This sudden lack of mercy was not a change of character for the hero, but rather the result of an outside force exerting pressure on her. In fact, the special Kree Storm Ranger nanosuit she'd acquired while in a battle on the planet Safa. The costume, which originally debuted in the Magnificent Ms. Marvel number 5, was created by Minkyu Ju and incorporated elements of Jamie McKelvey's original design. The sentient AI suit chose Ms. Marvel after sensing her inhuman lineage during the battle in space, and Ms. Marvel continued wearing it upon her return to Earth. The style of the suit represents a departure from earlier representations of the hero, emphasizing more of a cyborg sci-fi feel. Instead of her signature flowing red scarf, the nanosuit sports long, flowing pincer-like weapons. The colors have also been updated with cybernetic silver details, and her yellow bolt appears more golden and now moves from shoulder, around her waist, and down her leg, emphasizing her curves. Although she still remains covered, this suit is much more body conscious, with a split asymmetrical skirt instead of the looser, more modest original. The lines of this ensemble are sleeker and edgier, and the style more mature and militaristic. In this new suit, Ms. Marvel stands more explicitly than ever on the boundary between girl and woman. Ilana Nash argues that, quote, standing at the crossroads between childhood and womanhood, the teen girl faces Janus-like in both directions, a liminal figure who combines two identities that incite pleasure and anxiety in the adult male, end quote. In this incarnation, the gaze sees Ms. Marvel both as the young hero of the past and the woman she's becoming, before she is split and reverts to her former self. This grown-up suit not only looks different, it also, as previously mentioned, behaves quite differently, protecting Ms. Marvel from electrocution at Mr. Hyde's hands. However, once Ms. Marvel has clearly won the battle, the suit will not stop attacking her enemy until Ms. Marvel forcibly removes it. Yet, the nanosuit, once removed, retains something of Kamala's genetic code, becoming the cyborg Storm Ranger, part human, but not unfortunately humane, female, and part killer machine. This dramatic separation marks a departure from Ms. Marvel's positive relationship with technology as depicted in the previous series. As Jessica Baldanzi states in her wonderful article that I think everyone should read, which is called I Would Rather Be a Cyborg, Both and Technoculture and the New Ms. Marvel, quote, Ms. Marvel's use of technology is clearly internalized, embodied, partly because of her inherent superpowers and the alien Terrigen mist that triggers them, but also because of her generational relationship to technology, end quote. Throughout the early issues, Ms. Marvel relies on technology extensively and for the most part comfortably. Yet in these more recent issues, Ms. Marvel is forced to choose emotion and ethics over technological violence, forcefully removing the suit and ultimately and inadvertently creating a new life form. Ms. Marvel has birthed a monster devoid of a code of ethics. Storm Ranger is born of a rupture with her human host and retains the memories of Ms. Marvel's enemies along with her Kree military programming, and thus sets out to annihilate all of Ms. Marvel's foes. Khan casts off technological aggression, choosing mercy, but in doing so creates a painful division of a once comfortable symbiotic relationship with technology and human girl. In this recent series, the cyborg has become the other, and a dangerous other at that. Storm Ranger, freed from the boundaries of conscience and goodness which tether and constrain Ms. Marvel's actions, immediately sets out to destroy in issue 11, pointing to the unconscious body of Mr. Hyde and explaining, these Storm Ranger self-guiding protocols mandate elimination of all registered threats in priority order. Kamala Khan attempts to placate the cyborg in the final panel on these pages. Her hands outstretched as she pleads, whoa, 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 we're not going to eliminate anyone. In all of the panels on these 2 pages, Storm Ranger is in the dominant position, looking down from above, and Ms. Marvel appears much smaller and frankly more vulnerable without her costume. Throughout this issue at large and in this conversation with Storm Ranger, an intradiegetic narrative text box colored in yellow and marked by Ms. Marvel's bold reflects, quote, we all fight other versions of ourselves every day. One version of us wins out over the others. We all fight against the worst versions of ourselves, but sometimes the worst version of us is stronger than we are. I guess what I'm saying is this: if we're not careful, the worst version of ourselves can kill us, end quote. The philosophical narrator, presumably Khan herself, suggests that Storm Ranger is Ms. Marvel, at least a version of her, and in her ruthlessness and lack of compassion, Storm Ranger is stronger. The cyborg determines that her progenitor Ms. Marvel is a threat and deploys countermeasures by electrocuting the hero and sending her tumbling into the Hudson River. Ultimately, Ms. Marvel defeats Storm Ranger after being rescued by Bruno in issue 12, but she must do so not through violence but by overwhelming Storm Ranger's circuits, grappling with the cyborg as she flies ever higher until the cyborg appears to explode. With Storm Ranger conquered, Khan can return to help save her father, although he suffers greatly as a result of her late arrival. Ms. Marvel chooses to go after Storm Ranger, an enemy who is attempting to eliminate Khan's former friend Josh turned villain Discord, and to do so knowing her father will suffer. It is important to note that Ms. Marvel relies on friends to rescue her from the Hudson, give her the information necessary to challenge her adversary, and offer assistance when she has no costume. Khan acts out of love, with love guiding her way, and does so with the help of the community, while Storm Ranger acts alone, relying on logic devoid of compassion. Although Storm Ranger appears to have been destroyed, a limited series that was canceled as a result of COVID-19 indicates she survived, and will most likely be revived at a later date. I do wonder, what will become of the magnificent Ms. Marvel? Will she remain suspended in girlhood? And given that much of popular culture, according to Barbara White, imagines womanhood in this overwhelmingly negative way, is it better to remain a girl, divided? Moving forward, I believe Ms. Marvel will continue to grapple with these liminal spaces, rendering a representation of a girl positioned in the performative juncture between girl and woman, violence and mercy, humanity and technology. The interaction with Storm Ranger suggests a more fraught, combative relationship with technology, which now operates as a sinister force divorced from and devoid of human connection. It also appears Ms. Marvel will struggle with doing good while being good, as she takes additional steps away from family and tradition and into a space of her own. Catherine Driscoll argues that, quote, while masculine adolescence is a progress to subjectivity, feminine adolescence ideally awaits moments of transformation from girl to woman. The feminine adolescent has no past identity of herself, and her future identity is divorced from what she presently is, end quote. The magnificent Ms. Marvel posits Khan as an adolescent at a precarious juncture. She chooses love and mercy and community. She chooses to do good, but in doing so finds herself separated from her family and disconnected from self, shedding the worst version of herself, a cyborg woman guided by logic without compassion. As he reaches out to Ms. Marvel at the end of the issue, Dr. Strange explains, some futures are fluid, but some futures are fixed, and what matters isn't our efforts to keep them from happening, but how we react when they come. So, I'll be waiting and watching the magnificent Ms. Marvel's future unfold, hoping for the story of a girl who enters womanhood not in a negative way, but with her whole embiggened heart leading the way. Thank you. I look forward to puzzling through these issues with all of you and eager to hear your thoughts.